So we're coming down into Leeds via the bypass now. These bikes are great, they're pretty safe, but you need to, if you're coming across, you need to ride it like a motorbike, because you need to be aware of everything that's around you when you're going down round places like this. And I'm getting onto some bypass junctions now. So this is where your mirrors come in handy. If you're going on junctions like this, always have mirrors on your bike, always. The odd thing is, I'm doing 26 mile an hour down here, not pedalling, now down into past 1. But the way the law works is, for me to get power going uphill, I'm not allowed to go past 15.5 mile an hour, and I'm not allowed to throttle, which is weird, because it's when you need the power. But, you know, they know best. Put some power up on it. Definitely put some power on it. It's actually started to rain a bit. Obviously today it said no rain, but so I'm fully aware of what's going on around me, which is how it should be when I'm on one of these. Because drivers don't absolutely ever give a shit about a cyclist, and for some unknown reason they give less of a shit if you're on an e-bike, which, I don't know, it's that mentality that we're cheating. I don't know what we're cheating. Fuel tax, I guess. I mean, there's nothing more boring than being stuck in a tin can, just getting clogged up in traffic, and then seeing me coming through, zipping through the traffic, and looking like I'm enjoying myself, which I am. So, 3 months I've had this bike nearly. I've only managed to put 150 miles on it. Well, I would have done it at the end of this ride. Well, I have been busy modding it. So, yeah, it is what it is. I love this bike. I really do love this bike. I think I mentioned this before, but the cycle paths coming into Leeds are fab. They're really well done. They're really well thought out. Give you a bit of space. There's a few I've seen cars parked on, but it's no big get around. You just go around them onto the pavement when nobody's about. But yeah, Leeds is encouraging you to use your bike, but when you get there, you've got nowhere to park it. And that is where the whole theory falls apart, that we can make these cycle paths for people to get to work. And let's be honest here, businesses don't want you on e-bikes. they don't want to store them at their businesses. So, cheers, buddy. Yeah, businesses don't want you bringing your e-bike into work for the obvious reasons, because they're still worried about battery fires. But I don't know if you've noticed, battery fires are getting more and more rare, because all those cheap shit batteries that people were buying, they're pretty much non-existent now. So we're coming down into Leeds now, and here's another thing. Since I've been out on this part of the path now, I have seen 2 Saurons. Separate sittings, separate bikes, but I've seen 2. You know, you do your best to be legal, and it doesn't really matter because the police aren't doing anything about what's illegal. Yeah, 2 Saurons. Is it the end of the world? No. But if they have an accident, what do the press call them? Oh, accident today in Leeds involving 2 pedestrians and an e-bike, when it clearly isn't an e-bike. Makes you wonder why you bother, really. You know, the biggest giveaway is it's got no pedals on it and it's doing 40 mile an hour on the pavement. But I'd say the police have bigger fish to fry, but I don't know, does it seem that way? Black Prince, Dark Knight. So I've come down into Leeds on the bike of it, as you saw, 12.5 miles, still on 5 bars. As I say about modding, it's in the details. What do you think of them? So I've had the bike now pretty much 2.5 months. It says 3 months on YouTube, but I've put 150 miles on it, but I've been busy modding it. And yeah, it's doing fine at the moment. I've got to tuck that back in, it's obviously popped out. Range wise, well, I've battery starved it a bit coming down here, but that's the joy of having this torque sensor. It makes such a big difference. So for those of you who've got the first version of this bike still, and it's on the cadence sensor, you need to have a go with one of these, because it's a completely different animal, especially when it comes to range. I mean, the range, do you know what? I don't reckon I'd have quite got home if I'd have taken this last week, because that was like 58 miles. But once I had the batteries on it, I've got to say, it's going to be roughly good for 100 miles. 100 miles. And how does it hold up in this 150 miles? Well, I've used it sort of like sporadically because I had time to get out on it, and that's partly what this video is about today. That's a bit of an update of what I've been doing to the bike and how well it's going. So one of the things I want to talk about, if you had a Mark 1, do you remember all this used to come loose? Well, it doesn't anymore, and that's been bounced around quite a bit, and bounced around even more because I've got the seat post on it and these squidgy tyres, so it's making a big difference. But yeah, so far so good. Let's go have a mooch round. I got my big flashy light on the front. Should be able to see that. So people can see me. Not that they get out of the way, but they can see me. Let's tuck in on here. Corn exchange again, where I was the other week. Let's go over some cobbles. I come down here the other day, well last weekend. I need to oil this seat post, I think. I said these tyres will go anywhere tyres. It's tell you what, I've had some conversations with people about this bike today. It's people genuinely like the look of it, and when I tell them how much they cost out the box and how much they can modify these up and what they cost then, which ain't a lot in comparison to other e-bikes out there. Yeah, just pull out on me. In comparison with other e-bikes out there, this is really, really good value for money for what you get. It's in fact, it's quite phenomenal what you get for the money out the box. And then for all the mods that I'm going to be doing on it, it's still going to come in at under £2 grand. You know, let's say 2-3, and you could add the trailer as well. Just think of that. Over 33 amp hours of power, is it? Yeah, 33.5 amp hours of power and range, 52 volts, 20-inch wheel trailer. What's not to like? Genuinely, what can you buy for that money that's better? Not a lot, if anything. And it folds up and goes in the back of your trailer. This is where we started off last week. Well, I say we started off. We didn't, I did, and it wasn't quite where I started off, because obviously I started off in Wakefield, but I started filming here last week. Weather's a bit different today, as you can see. I don't know where this takes you, but there's only one way of finding out. Yeah, the creaking's that saddle. Not, well, it might be the saddle, it might not be the, might be where I tucked in the cable. Oh. I don't necessarily know where this goes. and I don't think it goes as far as I want it to go anyway if I wanted to get home this way, which is a shame. Let's do a photo for the, what they call it, the relive. Camera, photo done. That Relive's a good app. I should use it more than I use it, but it's a good app. I like it. It's just that little monumental thing at the end, shows you how far you've gone. You don't have to do majorly long trips with it. You can do as far as you want. Oh, it's got boaters facilities here. Showers and cleaning and I've spoken to about 10 people about this bike today. Everybody's interested. Where'd you get it from? How much did it cost? What have you done to it? It looks different. Might have done a couple of sales actually. It's different, isn't it? You're the 11th person that's wanted to talk about this today. Yeah, it's 52 amp hour. It's got no throttle, so it's legal. Obviously mod it, but I review e-bikes online, so I get these for now. But it's instead of a cadence sensor, it's a torque sensor, so I can pop it down and then pop the thing up, and then I can get some proper pace out of it. But the battery's good as well. I've just gone down 1 bar, 16 miles. I know it's 16 miles. Got Relive running. I did. On my other one, I did 58 miles last week and nearly killed myself. Well, I went up to 5 rise locks. See you later, dude. I can mess around on past 5 now because, well, let's be honest, I've got loads of battery to get home. So I'm thinking of like doing a bit of torture on this bike. Now I'm stuck. Thank you. There's lots I miss about growing up in Leeds. And one of the things is Saturday shopping. Come and get some new jeans and some new kicks to go out in. I really miss that. But it is what it is. Everywhere changes, otherwise we'd be stagnant for life, wouldn't we, I guess. So yeah, let's go put some miles on before we head home. Currently going past Queen's. Let's go have a mooch around for a bit. My first ever job was at that building at the end of this street coming up, and it used to be called Weatherall, Hollis and Gale, and I was 16. I just left school and I was a trainee chartered surveyor, a job that I lasted 7 months in until I realised I was getting no help with the coursework because the partners couldn't be bothered. But yeah, right there was where I started my employment. I'm going to do something nasty and illegal right now, or I'll never get anywhere. It's meant to be sunny today, but the sun's decided to keep its hat on. And its sunglasses, and pull its hands in front of its face. It's quite windy as well. Send that down. We don't need all that power, do we? We're not going very quick. So yeah, even this part of Leeds will be thriving on a Saturday, be heaving. But nowadays, not so much, there ain't enough to heave. I don't know if any of you follow John Hicks on YouTube, but he does videos where he goes around some of the more shocking areas of Los Angeles, like Compton and East LA and stuff like that. And it's quite a popular channel. And I've kind of thought about doing something similar myself, going around some of the places in Leeds where you wouldn't want to go on your own, in Bradford, and filming. And let me know, I know a few of you are going to say, yeah, if you want to see me get myself into any trouble on an e-bike around Leeds and Bradford. Be an interesting concept. My biggest threat riding around Leeds is taxi drivers, which isn't a surprise because my biggest threat in Wakefield as well. Talking to myself. Yeah, taxi drivers don't seem to think you exist, they just seem to think that you're there to they just think you're a nuisance as much as I think taxi drivers are a nuisance. Which is hardly surprising. Let's be honest, nowadays who'd want to be a taxi driver? So many at it. About 3 miles an hour.
3 miles an hour?
Nah. Does the legal limit and up to about 30 if I unlock it. Can I fuck? So yeah, even with these on, it's nimble. This bike's nimble. Even with these big tyres on, this bike's nimble. In fact, it's a cracking ride. And so what amazes me is you're allowed to go as fast as you want downhill, but like I said, when you need the power to help you to get uphill, it's illegal. You're not allowed to have a throttle to help you. It just defies all logic, but that's governments for you. It's not just the UK, it's them sort of copying what's happening in Europe. Because, let's be honest, the amount of people I've seen this week on the news slagging e-bikes off because they're this and this, and they're causing robberies and everything else, so being used in robberies. It's not e-bikes. It's not e-bikes at all. It's e-motos. And we should stop being demonised for that. Really, really pisses me off. So, just turned it off and on again, and it's adamant it's on 4 bars now. See what we've done on range. 14 miles and gone down a bar. So if I'm lucky enough to get 8 miles per bar left, this is in for 40 miles, which range wise, 40 miles, let's be honest, you don't want to be riding 40 miles. Most people don't. Idiots like me that like going on these long hoons, they do, but not most people. 40 miles is enough. But once I got the other battery on the back, I'm good for 100 miles, I reckon. 80 to 100. I'm going to eke that battery out first, and then I'm going to thrash that battery after. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a range test where I'm trying to eke the mileage out of it, and then I'm going to do a range test where it's like money don't matter. It's just past 5 all the way until the battery dies. So as I was saying earlier, if you want me to do some videos where I go around Hare Hills and some of the no-go areas that the police don't like going and cycle around there, just to show you what these areas are really like, down into Bradford and down to some of the areas around there, Sheffield, let me know. I mean, I might only get 2 or 3 episodes out before I get stabbed to death, but is it something I should be looking at? I'm game, but then I'm also stupid, so you have to take that into consideration. Where are we at? Let's have a look. 25 miles. I'm about 8 from home, I think. I reckon I'll be about 33 miles by the time I get home. I've been out 4 hours. The amount of people I've spoken to about this bike today, everybody's wanted to talk about it. And what you have to remember is that out of the box, this is good value for money anyway. But to get it up to what I'm doing to it, a 33.5 amp hour range monster that looks like this, under 2 grand. What else can you buy? And what else do you want? Because hopefully this will be the bike Engwe's going to build as a trek bike. Obviously it's not going to fold, but it could do with being 52 volts. It could do with being, you know, probably 35 amp hours if you can have some proper range on it. It's what they should do with the L20. Rack that up properly. The amount of fishermen that would buy that. As I say, there's a bum for every seat. Coming back into Wakefield now, about 30 odd miles. Don't much. Let's go up this curb. Oh yeah, this thing angles curbs fine. So yeah, let's put it back into 5. I've dropped it, it's just dropped into 1 bar, so I've dropped it down a bit to make sure I conserve enough to get home. So I'm still about 6 miles from home. So, well, I've hammered it in past 5 all the way back. Actually, I'll get in the bus lane, I'm allowed. Which ain't bad going at all. It's, I reckon by the time I get home, 33 miles, there'll be another few miles left in the battery, so that's 36 miles. So whereas I conserved the battery on the way there, I completely hammered it on the way back. And 20 odd mile an hour uphill, which mostly it's uphill coming back. Properly hammered that battery, but if I'd have conserved it, I'd have been into 45, I reckon. Because I remember I was still on 5 bars at 12 miles, which ain't bad going at all. But as we all know, speed kills battery, speed kills range. And it's never as much as anybody seems to think it is. Because you're getting further faster. So it's not like you're murdering the range, but you are still causing a deficit. Which, depending on what your point of view on range is, it's not the best thing. When I get into town, I'm going to stop and have a can of pop. I bought 2 in Leeds, I've only drunk 1. And I need a drink. So yeah, here we are. Finally got back into the centre of Wakefield. Job is a good one. I've earned that can of pop. Let's get over here. Oh. Some of the things you've got to be in the right gear. And I keep forgetting. Obviously that puts a massive stress on the drivetrain. But yeah, let's have a can of pop. So I've had my can of pop. Yeah, what am I into? So about 31 miles, 1 bar, probably good for another 7 miles. But a lot of this is down to these big wide tyres. So you're probably adding 5 miles for the tyres. But I like them, so they're staying. If you want more range, don't get these tyres. If you want more range, don't thrash it in past 5 all the way home uphill for 12 miles. But yeah, another fab day out, another fab adventure. And it's just nice to do an update on how well these bikes are doing, because you never see anybody do updates to these bikes when they do the reviews. And it's a bit ironic because I don't do it to all of them. But you're going to see updates to the P275s. You're going to see updates for this. Although I'm gonna have to put one of them P275s up for sale, and it's probably gonna be the step through, which is my favorite, and the reason for that is I just want to get that Pro to work properly. And I've ordered some stuff, and I think I'll have cracked it, and it'll be brilliant, and it'll be the bike it should have been when it came out of the box. But it's costing me 300 quid to do it. But then, you know, this is the money you were saving anyway, so, you know, it's no biggie. But the range on that thing's just short of mental, which is another thing. But yeah, I mean, the range on this is no shakes either. It's a big bike, big footprint with the tyres, you know. And as you saw coming home, the speed I was doing uphill, it has no problems with putting pace down. But like I said, each chunks out your battery, which is, well, it is what it is. This is still my favourite e-bike by far, regardless of the mods. This is my favourite. I mean, the amount of people, like I said, that have been come up to me today, you know, talked about the bike and said, oh, it's brilliant looking, and where'd you get it? And I could probably do enough trade just by sitting around Leeds and then just getting referrals while they're there. I could probably earn 150 quid a day. People are interested in electric bikes, that's the thing. They are absolutely not shy of talking about them. They want them, but I think the biggest thing at the moment is the law restriction, because they don't know the law. I explained it to a couple of people today, and it's always, is it? Can you? And it's like, yeah, it is, and you can. So, look at that, gonna get caught for riding an e-bike. Yeah, they just don't understand the law, and I think the law's very ambiguous. That's the other thing. You buy an e-bike, you know, can they take it off you if they change the law? How do you upgrade your bike to make it legal? And it's that whole ambiguity. And you may say, oh, well, it's definitely this and it's strict on that. Listen, I went to a centre of Leeds today and they had a cordon on with the police. There was about 3 vans, 2 police cars, and they were shutting the road off. And guess what? Somebody on an e-scooter rode straight through the cordon and they didn't bat an eyelid. Nothing. Not a thing. So, not just the ambiguity of law, but the fact that the law is so sporadic. It's okay for some, it's not okay for others. It's just random. You know, I go on about the fact that you could have these taken off you. But right now I think the fit police have got bigger fish to fry. But if you're bombing round, oh, that's the other thing. 2 Saurons today, separate sittings. They didn't care, just zooming along the bike lane. And it's like, why am I struggling with trying to keep bikes legal when the law's being, I don't know if desecrate is the right word, but the law's being sort of like bent everywhere. And it's not me doing it. You know, that annoys me. That annoys me. I don't know. And like I said, I'm going to do another video this week on the state of e-bike law in the UK. And honestly, it doesn't look good at all. It really doesn't look good. Like I said, at worst, it's annoyance. Sorry. At best, it's an annoyance. At worst, it's just, It's flagrant keeping us down, and it's our own government doing this to us. And it don't matter who's in power, so I'm not going to make this political by who's in charge. It just needs somebody to say, yeah, have a throttle. Have an e-bike up to 15.5 miles an hour where you can just use the throttle. Doesn't matter about the motor as long as it cuts out at. Because at some point, they're just going to go after you. They're going to realise they've got nothing else to prove a point with, and they're just going to go after you. Pisses me off. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. But it's not sitting on your hands and doing nothing about it. I've always said that the governments talk green, but they don't walk green. And these bunch of idiots that are in power now, same as the other bunch of idiots that were in power before. I mean, they're okay cutting back winter fuel payments for pensioners, spending billions on foreign, this I'll have to check this is right, but I think it's foreign green initiatives, billions. What? It's just a waste of money. It's your money. It's my money they're wasting. But no doubt if I mention it online, I'll be far right for saying the government's wasting our money. Anyway, this is the end of my adventure. I'm into, let's have a look, 32.2. By the time I get round to mine, it'll be 33 miles. And I've probably got about 5 left in the tank. I'd have probably had 15 left in the tank if I'd have come back it past 3. I've had a great day out. What's the day cost me? 30 pence in charge, 2 cans of pop. What else would you be doing on a Saturday?